Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed, where we unravel the most compelling stories and ideas, all tailored just for you.
And today we're really plunging into something that's got everyone talking.
Absolutely. We're looking at the 2025 horror mystery film, Weapons, from director Zach Cregger. You might know him from Barbarian. And this new one, Weapons. It's not just standard horror fare. It seems genuinely thought-provoking, and it's really splitting opinions.
Totally dividing audiences, yeah?
So our mission today is basically to unpack all that critical buzz, the good, the bad, the really critical, to figure out why this film is such a conversation starter.
Right. We need to look at its pretty unique structure, its themes, which are quite unsettling.
And yeah, definitely that ending. Everyone seems to have a take on the ending.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so let's kick things off. The premise. 17 kids vanish, same time, 2:10 a.m., small town. I mean, that alone is instantly chilling, right?
A killer hook.
Yeah.
Instantly grabs you. But what's really interesting, I think, is how Cregger decides to tell this story.
Yeah, how does he approach it? Because it sounds like a lot to juggle.
It is. Instead of just, a straight line investigation, Weapons uses these multiple interlocking chapters.
Okay.
So you see events unfold in the perspective of a teacher, then a parent, a cop, an addict, and even the one kid who survives.
Wow.
Yeah, sources like Empire Online, AP News, The Washington Post, they all mention this Rashomon style thing, like that classic Kurosawa film.
Right, where everyone remembers the same event differently.
Exactly. The truth is all fragmented, subjective. You're constantly having to piece it together and reevaluate everything you thought you knew based on the last chapter.
That sounds incredibly ambitious. It feels like a structure that could easily go wrong, become confusing, or maybe just feel gimmicky.
Yeah.
How did that land with critics? Was it seen as a success?
Well, for a lot of them, yeah, it really worked. Empire, for instance, said it masterfully ramps up the intrigue.
Okay.
And by seeing things from all these different angles, you actually build deeper empathy for this wide range of characters,
That makes sense. You're not just stuck with one viewpoint.
Right. And Empire also noted it avoids narrative fatigue. You're always shifting perspective, always getting a new piece of the puzzle, so it keeps you engaged. Makes you an active watcher, sort of.
But I'm guessing that complexity wasn't universally loved. There must have been some pushback.
Oh, definitely. While it's clever, yeah, some critics felt it didn't quite stick the landing. The Guardian, for example, called it slick, but ultimately simplistic.
Simplistic? How so, with that structure?
Their argument was that some of those viewpoint segments felt less like deep dives into character and more like, just plot devices to get us to the next story beat.
Ah, okay. So potentially sacrificing character depth for plot mechanics.
Kind of. And if that happens, it can undermine the emotional punch the film was maybe going for. Some characters might feel a bit thin as a result.
Yeah.
It's a tough balance to strike.
Yeah, that tension between intricate plotting and character depth is always tricky.
Okay, so stepping back from the how it's told, let's talk about the feel of watching Weapons, the experience itself. What's it like visually?
Visually, it sounds quite striking. Man of Many described the look as manically detailed.
Manically detailed.
Yeah, and confidently paced. Apparently, even when scenes are really dark, and it sounds like there are plenty, Cregger, make sure you can still see the important stuff, very deliberate, a very polished filmmaking.
Okay.
But what really seems to define the experience is this mix of unsettling imagery and a very specific kind of gallows humor.
Gallows humor. In a film about missing kids.
Yeah, Den of Geek and news.com.au both picked up on this, drawing lines back to Barbarian. It's that kind of humor that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe you laugh, but you feel weird about it.
Right, that awkward laugh.
Exactly. It helps create this really unique kind of off-kilter world. The tension's always there, but then these strange, dark little jokes pop up. That combination sounds intense, but it feels like Weapons isn't just trying to be stylish and scary. There's more going on underneath, right? Some real-world commentary.
Absolutely. That seems to be a huge part of it. The horror is almost a vehicle for some pretty dark commentary on, us, society.
Like what specifically?
Themes of parental neglect come up a lot, societal breakdown, communities failing, gun culture is apparently a big one, and just institutional failure, systems not protecting people.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, and news.com.au points to these really potent metaphors, and the film uses things like floating AR-15 rifles and brainwashed families, images that aren't just creepy in the movie, but resonate with, actual tragedies and anxieties out here in the real world.
Wow, floating AR-15s. That's provocative. Cregger's really not shying away. What about the kids in all this? Are they just victims?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Based on what Time magazine wrote, they argue the film does something different. It reframes the children, not just as passive victims, which is, the usual trope in these stories, but more like active avengers. Avengers for the sins of the adult.
Avengers. Wow, okay. That's a powerful idea.
Isn't it? Time suggests it offers this unexpected cathartic hope, even within this really bleak story. It's like the kids are asserting some kind of agency against all this adult failure. Really makes you think.
That concept of children as avengers, that definitely sticks with you. It sounds like the central question, why did they vanish? That must be what drives the whole film. How does Cregger handle keeping that mystery alive?
Yeah, that mystery is the engine. Pollyann points out that Cregger does resolve the big plot points, gives you some answers.
Okay, so there is closure on some level.
Yes, but apparently he leaves a lot of the smaller details deliberately ambiguous. Open-ended?
Ah, the kind of ending that makes you talk about it afterwards.
Polygon says it invites interpretation and prolonged discussion. It wants you to keep chewing on it after the credits roll.
Okay, so if the major threads get resolved, what is the resolution? Without spoiling everything, can you give us the gist of the reveal that people are reacting so strongly to?
Well, it definitely takes a sharp turn into the supernatural.
Ah, okay, supernatural.
Yeah. Time magazine mentions this sinister character, Gladys. Apparently she's using some kind of dark magic involving the children to extend her own life.
Whoa, okay, dark magic, life force. That's a big swing.
It is. But the key part, connecting back to what we just discussed, is the children's role in it. They aren't just passive energy sources. Their subtle resistance, their agency, is actually what leads to Gladys's downfall.
So they aren't just victims, they actively fight back, even within this magical context.
Precisely. It reinforces that idea of them being active agents, not just pawns. It changes how you see everything that came before.
And this supernatural twist, I'm guessing this is where the audience really divides.
Bingo. This is the major sticking point. On one side, you've got people who see it as bold, unexpected, maybe even subversive. It offers a clear answer, right?
Sure, it ties things up in a way.
But then, yeah, there's strong criticism. Someone on Reddit apparently summed up the feeling for many, saying once you know it's about a dying witch uses life force of children, the whole mystery just sort of deflates. Ouch. Yeah, they call the film the cinematic equivalent of dangling keys in front of a baby. Pretty harsh.
That is harsh. Why such a strong negative reaction to that specific kind of reveal?
It seems like for some viewers it felt like a betrayal of the film's earlier tone, maybe? The grounded mystery they were invested in? Letterboxd reviews mentioned a lack of cohesion once the twist hits.
Right, like it didn't quite fit with the rest.
Yeah, and AP News echoed that, saying the shift to the supernatural in the final act slightly dilutes the initial intrigue that had been built up so carefully. It's like they were expecting maybe a more psychological or grounded explanation.
And they got dark magic instead.
Exactly. It really highlights how much audience expectation shapes how we receive these things, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So, okay. We've got this ambitious structure, these heavy themes, this really polarizing ending. Where does that leave weapons overall? When you average out all the praise and the criticism, what's the general takeaway?
Despite the division, the overall critical weight seems to lean positive, even strongly positive for many.
Really? Even with those criticisms?
Yeah, Empire called it a hugely accomplished horror achievement. Cinema Blend apparently thinks it's the best new release yet for 2025 horror, praising how it balances the scares with genuine intimacy.
High praise.
And the Washington Post went even further, calling it genre-defining. So you've got major outlets really championing its craft, the character layers, that emotional texture, the slow burn dread, mixed with that dark humor we talked about.
It definitely sounds like a film that's aiming high and isn't afraid to be complex or challenging. But what about for viewers who maybe aren't looking for that, who prefer something neater?
Yeah, that's the caveat. If you're someone who needs perfect logic or really tight, straightforward plotting, or maybe prefer subtlety over big, bold spectacle,
then the supernatural twist and the complex structure might not work for you.
Exactly. Those aspects might feel unsatisfying, maybe even indulgent. That echoes the criticism from places like Reddit and The Guardian. What one person sees as bold and ambitious, another sees as maybe messy or undermining. It's pretty clear Weapons is a film that will undoubtedly split audiences. No question.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the final word from our deep dive into all these takes? How should we frame Weapons?
I think the consensus from the sources is that Weapons isn't just a horror movie. It's framed as more of a thematic puzzle, an emotional roller coaster, and a twisted piece of cinematic commentary on the faults of adult society.
That's quite a description.
It is. It suggests a film that's daring, haunting, and aims to do more than just scare you. It wants to linger. Ultimately, the sources position it as one of the most memorable and conversation-worthy horror films of 2025. It demands engagement, maybe even debate.
Wow. Well, this deep dive certainly shows Weapons has achieved that conversation-worthy status. It really sounds like a film designed to stick in your head, making you mull over its themes, its structure, its ambiguities, long after it's over.
Yeah, exactly. And as the sources hint, whether you personally connect with it probably boils down to your own taste for that kind of challenging style, the heavy symbolism, and just sheer narrative ambition. It definitely takes swings.
It certainly sounds like it. So now we'd love to hear from you. Have you seen Weapons? What were your favorite moments, or what aspects of the film stuck with you most? Got any thoughts on the ending or how it uses its themes? Feel free to share your opinions and experiences in the comments below. I'd truly love to hear what you think.
Yeah, jump into the conversation.
And if you're looking for more in-depth analyses and discussions on the latest movies and dramas, make sure to follow and share this deep dive.
Helps us out a lot.
And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you won't miss out on our next episode.